Look, I know in times like these, we can feel sad, maybe even depressed. We can feel disappointment. It's easy to be upset, for sure. And it's totally justified, But I want you all to have smiles on your faces because, life's too short not to be happy. Hockey, it's entertainment. It's just a game. We love our Hawks, but, it's just a game, right? Why you have to be mad? Let's get a smile on our faces. In times like these, when we're giving up 14 goals in 2 games, let's think about the good old times. The good old days, the glory days. The days of 2 weeks ago when we were shutting out the Blues. Can you do that? Yeah. There's that smile.
Sucker bleu. I want to overact.
What was that? This is going to be a good year. Not too shabby. The best game ever. Hello and welcome to Hawks Recap. Game 26 has just concluded for the Hawks as they drop another one, this time to the Jets in Winnipeg by a score of 5-6. Now, it's very easy to be all doom and gloom right now, and rightfully so. The Hawks are definitely struggling. But let's put things into perspective a little bit. This is a very tough stretch of the schedule that the Hawks are playing right now. They're nearing the end of this 7-game stretch where they're playing 6 playoff teams from last year. Now, obviously, their struggles predate this stretch of games, but if you look at where they are right now, any team playing these 7 games, this stretch of schedule, would have troubles. It'd be a struggle for any team out there. The Hawks, like I said, playing 6 playoff teams from a year before. One of them being the Stanley Cup champion in Washington. 4 of them being conference finalists in the playoffs. Washington, Tampa Bay, Vegas, and then the Jets here. And then we have the Western Conference regular season champions, Predators, coming up next, kind of rounding out this 7-game stretch. And then the Wild that kind of started this stretch. It's a lot of good teams to be playing in a short amount of time on a schedule. Now, the Jets aren't really playing their best hockey at the moment. Of course, Patrick Laine is still scoring 5 goals a game, so it really doesn't matter all that much. Now, with that said, he only scored twice tonight, so our defense doing pretty good out there. All kidding aside, Jets are struggling closing out games. We saw that tonight. Struggling in the third period. And it all kind of starts off with their goaltending. They're lacking confidence because Connor Hellebuyck's not really playing up to his Vezina-like season that he had a year ago. He's struggling. He'll turn it around eventually, but he's struggling right now. We saw it with the Jan Ruda goal tonight. It's just something, he's in some sort of a funk. But they're still winning the majority of their games because they're a really good team. They're a very good team. They're a team that I picked to be in the Stanley Cup final this year. Now, I'm not that great at doing predictions, but that's kind of beside the point. They're a really good team. On the other hand, you have the Blackhawks. Complete opposite end of the spectrum. Not a good team at all right now. A team that just came off a game where they gave up 8 goals at home. I mean, that's all you have to say about that. A defense that's just been absolutely atrocious all season. A brand new coach, brand new system. You have veteran players who are kind of stuck in their ways. It's just going to take a while for them to break out of their habits from the old system. But even still, the mistakes that are happening are not system-based. Things just aren't clicking. At least they're not clicking at a good enough rate to be able to win at the NHL level. And probably won't fix itself for a while. Now, these last 2 games against Vegas and Winnipeg tonight, they've been without Henri Jokiharju due to an illness. Things will probably improve when he gets back on the ice. But, it's not going to improve that much. We're still waiting for Connor Murphy to come back. He'll probably be back within the next 2 weeks, I would say. That should help, but he'll probably be a little bit rusty as well. So things are still going to take time. This is a team that right now their chance of making the playoffs is at 15%, and that just seems high right now. It probably is. But this is a tough stretch of schedule. This is a tough stretch of teams to be playing against when you're kind of still in this moment of transition. Now, I'm not going to go over every single goal in this one. There are 11 goals. I don't really think it's necessary. The Hawks, once again, giving up these tap-in goals in situations where like, they're just creating their own doom. Like, odd man rushes that go from 3-on-2s to 2-on-1s to breakaways, like situations where the Hawks need to just let teams beat them. Let teams earn the goal. Don't just give it to them. And the Hawks, for the last couple games, and maybe even longer here, they just kind of let teams have these goals, these tap-in goals, these goals that Crawford has no chance on. You have one of the best goalies in the league in Corey Crawford. Let him have a chance. Give him a chance to help you out. And they're just not doing it, and they're getting behind early in games because of it. Now, if you want to look at the bright side of things for the Hawks in this game, at least they battled back. They kept battling this entire game, and that's good to see, especially after just getting your butt whooped in the previous game. But the Hawks were down pretty much all game, but at least they kept battling back. They kept tying it back up. At one point, David Kampf just shot out of a cannon to have a breakaway. Like, I literally thought that was Alexander Fortin before I realized, I'm like, wait, he's not even in the lineup tonight. And then I realized it was David Kampf. I'm like, really? I mean, he somehow bought some new wheels with some microtransactions or something. I don't know. Maybe he got a loot crate. I don't know. But Kampf, holy cow. He didn't score on it. Connor Hellebuck made the save, but Hayden followed that up, got the goal, tied it at 2. That third line, those two guys, I thought have played really well in these last couple of games, even though the team in general has been struggling. Hayden and Kampf, I would like to see them stay in the lineup pretty much every night, unless things drop off a cliff for them. But right now, they're playing as well as anybody on this team, which obviously, if you think about that statement, that's not a good thing. But like I was saying, kept battling back. They kept putting themselves in just bad situations, right? Down 3 goals in the third, but they battle back, get it to within 1 goal, give themselves a chance at the end. We know last time they gave themselves a chance, DeBrincat scored a goal with 1.8 seconds left, and then they won in overtime. It's kind of hoping the same thing would happen in this one. It didn't, but at least they gave themselves a chance. And with this team, I think that's probably going to be the thing that gives them the most confidence until they actually start winning. To be in close games, to know that they can still have chances to win. I think that's going to really benefit this team if they can keep doing that. Now, that's going to be tough to do when you have to go play the Nashville Predators next in Nashville. But they did just lose 3-0 tonight to the Arizona Coyotes, and that guy had a goal and assist in that game. So, of course, Predators are going to probably come out pissed and firing on all cylinders, so fantastic. Now, before I sign off here, I do want to touch on the report that came out saying that Artemi Panarin would be interested in coming back to the Hawks via free agency next summer. That's a very interesting and exciting report. Now, obviously, that doesn't fix our defensive issues, and he's not really the greatest defensive forward, but your team would still benefit from having a player like him. We know what he can do. We know what he can do with Kane as well. He's going to be commanding something around $9, $10, maybe $11 million, although I think 11 is probably a little bit of a stretch. But still, he's going to be commanding a nice chunk of change, and that would be another big contract for the Hawks to deal with. They could probably afford it. I don't know if it's really that smart of an idea. You'd have to, I'd imagine, you'd have to get rid of a contract like Artem Anisimov if you want to fit Panarin in. But you look at that and you're like, well, Artem Anisimov, another Russian player, he was on the KGB line when Panarin was here in Chicago. How would Panarin go for getting rid of Anisimov in that situation? I don't know. But it's very interesting, though, that report, and it's something to definitely look forward to. But it's a long ways away. There's a lot of things that can still change, but it's something it wouldn't be a bad thing to keep track of. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that as always. But most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.